Straight ahead on 12 News, equal to the task.
Loved Lucky so much, and his dream was to be able to work here. And so we hired him.
A One Plymouth company is offering people with disabilities a chance. Then, what impact will this rain have on a long-standing drought? But first, the growing effect of a partial government shutdown.
I'm going to pray that I keep feeding my kids.
12 News starts right now.
Day 4 of the government shutdown, and there's still a lot of uncertainty, especially if your livelihood relies on the flow of federal dollars. Hello, and thanks for joining us. I'm Alexandra Renslow.
And I'm Mike Johnson. As reporter Sonia Goen shows us, one Brooklyn Park woman is worried she will no longer get a paycheck if the shutdown doesn't end soon.
Barbara, it's Stacy from ACAP Energy Assistance Program.
Stacy Bell has worked at the Anoka County Community Action Program for 6 years. She helps people pay their utility bills when they're struggling. But now Stacy could soon be facing a crisis of her own.
They told us that for now we'll come to work on the 1st, even though it's a shutdown, still show up.
This program is partially funded by the federal government. With the government shutdown, there's only 2 weeks of money left to pay employees like Stacy.
We haven't heard a thing yet about what's going to happen next. This is just week 1 right now.
Stacy is a single mom with 7 children.
This is Jordan. This is Labria, back in the day. This is my son, Timothy. This is Stephanie.
She's worried about putting food on the table and keeping a roof over their heads.
Gotta keep them in the house that we're renting. And you just don't get to tell your landlord the government shut down, I won't be able to pay you.
Stacy is also worried about not being there for people in the community who really need her.
Like when I'm needed, when people are in crisis, you think that you should be available to help the people.
For now, she's been optimistic and hoping the government shutdown will come to an end soon.
Of course, I pray, and then I look around at everyone else, and I just think that, all things are possible.
Sonia Goins, 12 News.
Stacy Bell has been through this before. She was furloughed during the state government shutdown a few years ago, and if she gets let go this time around, she says she'll dip into her retirement fund to pay the bills.
It's been a wet, rainy couple days in the metro, but so far the rain has done little to lessen the drought situation. Since Wednesday evening, about 3/4 of an inch of rain was recorded in the Crystal area. But we're still in a moderate drought situation, more than 5 inches short of the average rainfall between the end of June and October 1st. More rain is forecast for the weekend, but the average rainfall for the month of October is 2.4 inches. So the state climatology offices said we need a lot more rain just to catch up.
Work on a $20 million FedEx sorting and distribution center in Maple Grove is moving quickly. When the 276,000 square foot building opens next year, it'll bring about 300 jobs, replacing a smaller hub in Brooklyn Park. Company officials have said most of the job positions will transfer from the current facility, but there could also be room for growth. Well, they are images we see repeatedly on TV, social media, and in magazines.
Yet the pictures of beautiful, rail-thin models and actresses often distort reality for young women. That was the message at a local conference for high school girls today. Consider this, the average model is 5 foot 11 inches tall and weighs 117 pounds. Yet the average woman is 5 foot 4 inches tall and weighs 140 pounds.
Sometimes I see those people on TV and people in magazines, and it's kind of like you want to be like them so badly, like you would do anything, but you just have to keep your head up and learn that it's not all real.
200 high school girls from the Northwest Suburban Integration School District gathered for the Young Women's Expo in Brooklyn Park Friday. One of the workshops focused on the connection between social media and negative body image and self-esteem among girls. The goal is to help young women learn not to compare themselves to false images and rather focus their minds on their own unique skills and abilities.
Everybody has a niche. They have something that they really are passionate about. And we want young women to start thinking about what that passion is and how they can apply it to their everyday life and maybe a career.
A similar expo will be held for middle school girls in the spring. As baby boomers retire, experts say it could lead to a labor shortage.
But advocates for people with disabilities say they have plenty of capable employees. Shannon Slatton introduces us to a young man who landed his dream job in Plymouth.
Starting around 11:30 as people start coming in.
When a restaurant opens up, it's often the calm before the storm.
Our lunch rush is busy.
The lights are on, the food is prepped.
Lucky 13.
Employees are just waiting for the lunchtime rush.
Welcome to Lucky 13. Thanks.
Then, suddenly, it hits.
Welcome to Lucky 13. Welcome to Lucky's. Welcome to Lucky 13.
It gets really crazy in here, and so having that extra person, like I said, being bubbly and greeting everybody that comes in, it's wonderful.
Welcome to Lucky's.
That person is 20-year-old Tim Strong.
Welcome.
Tim was coming into Lucky's every Wednesday night to play bingo.
Thanks.
And eating a juicy Lulu, which is his favorite meal.
Juicy Lulu.
Tim loved his favorite restaurant so much.
Welcome to Lucky 13.
And his dream was to be able to work here.
Thanks.
And so we hired him.
Now he's the first person you see when you walk in the door at lunch.
It's important thing to open doors and give my good smile to other customers to welcome.
Employees say it's good that during a busy lunchtime rush, customers can be greeted right away by Tim's smiling face.
He's always an up guy.
Welcome to Lucky's.
Without meaning to, Tim has been an advocate for hiring people with disabilities.
It's brought awareness to my staff, to the customers that are coming in, that just because someone has a disability does not mean that they can't or not capable of working.
And whether basking in the glow of his first paycheck,
He's real fun. He dances up here.
or grooving to the beat in his downtime,
He makes everyone laugh, that's for darn sure.
Tim has shown he's the right one for the job.
Welcome to Lucky 13.
In Plymouth, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
Tim works 3 days a week in his job and likes it, as you can see. And those who work with the disabled say only about 20% of the disabled are employed. Well, coming up, why an internationally known musician is coming to Crystal.
Later in sports, too, Maple Grove closes the regular season with the big matchup in boys soccer.
But first, a check of your weekend AccuWeather forecast.
A world-renowned composer and pianist will perform in Minnesota for the first time next week.
But he isn't playing at Orchestra Hall. In today's weekend showcase, 12 News reporter Renee Bonneau shows you how his concert in Crystal can make a difference for some local school children.
For more than 60 years, St. Raphael Catholic School has been a pillar in the community.
Everybody caught up?
I have just been edified day in and day out by not only the dedication, but the heart of the staff. They desperately want to see the students do well.
So for the last few years, it was difficult to watch enrollment numbers fall, until this year, when they went up a bit. Principal John Kimmick says he wants to see this trend continue.
It's a marathon, it's not a sprint, but we're heading in the right direction.
That marathon will get a sweet soundtrack. Internationally acclaimed composer and musician Eric Jennis will perform 2 shows for the public at St. Raphael Church on October 9th. Kimmick says proceeds from the show will help the school better train teachers to work with students of all abilities so they don't have to turn any students away.
It blows people away. The guy is just phenomenal.
But this isn't just a simple fundraiser.
He doesn't just perform, he performs, and he's really quite a prolific speaker.
His shows are expected to inspire.
To me, music is a great language that can be used to uplift and bring hope and bring joy and bring inspiration.
We spoke with Jennis via Skype about why he includes venues such as schools, churches, and prisons on his concert tours.
These are places where people usually don't get the opportunity to hear excellent soloists perform.
In addition to the public shows, Jennis will hold a private concert just for the students of St. Raphael that is sure to move many young hearts.
In my first performance in a prison, this one guy stood up in the middle of the first piece and threw up his arms and he yelled out, "I forgot what hope felt like."
You walk away changed, and that's exactly what we want for our school as well.
For Weekend Showcase, I'm Renee Bonneau.
Eric Jennis will perform at Church of St. Raphael in Crystal next Wednesday at 2 and 7 p.m. Tickets are $18 for adults, students and seniors are $15, and children under 5 are free. For tickets, you can go to srsmn.org or give them a call at 504-9450. We could all use a little uplifting now and then. Well, coming up a little later, what's behind a winning streak at Wayzata? We're not talking about sports.
But first, the Hopkins volleyball team battles in a marathon matchup against Eden Prairie. John Jacobson has that and more in sports when we come back.
Well, soccer conference season already coming to an end, and for Maple Grove, it's been a pretty good year.
They should get a high seed in the section playoffs, which will come up next week. It has been a pretty strong season for boys soccer in the Northwest Suburban Conference. Maple Grove looked to close out the conference season in style against a good opponent. Elk River's Joey Benz takes the corner kick, and it goes in off of Maple Grove defender's header's try. Benz gets credit for the goal, and the 10th-ranked Elks take a 1-0 lead on the Crimson. Second half now, Maple Grove's Reed Diamond stopped in close quarters by the keeper. The ball comes loose. Ted Janka knocks it in for the Crimson to tie it up at 1-1. And Maple Grove goes ahead here. The crossing pass off a defender, and Kevin Hoof gets there just before he collides with the keeper, and it's 2-1 Maple Grove. They add one more to be sure. Diamond comes out of a scramble and puts it away here. Maple Grove wins at 3-1. They move into a tie for second in the Northwest Suburban standings. Another Maple Grove-based squad is having a strong season in boys soccer too. Heritage Christian Academy looked for a win in the MCAA tournament against Pact Charter. You got to see this first goal. Heritage Tanner Tripp getting control, chipping it to Tyler Furry. Bicycle kick for the goal. It's amazing. And it's 1-0 Eagles in this one. Prairie here will play the through ball ahead to Nick Wilson. He gets to it, puts the ball in front for Michael Westling for the redirect. That's 2-0 Heritage. Pact makes a bid to get on the board. Dan Nelson lines it up, but Jack Vandertop with a great diving save here for the Eagles. Late in the first half, Wilson will get the buzzer beater, beating the goalkeeper and the clock to score with 4 seconds to play. Heritage goes on to win 5-0. The Eagles play Southwest Christian Saturday for the MCAA Championship. There have been some great matches in Lake Conference volleyball in the past couple of weeks. Hopkins will look at Thursday as one that got away. The 6th-ranked Royals at home to take on number 8 Eden Prairie. Off the Eden Prairie serve, Samantha Seliger-Swenson sets to Audrey Erickson for the kill, and the Royals win the first set 25-18. After trailing much of the way, Hopkins pulls out a thriller in the second. Swenson's shot drops in the middle. Hopkins takes it 27-25, and they go up 2-0. But Eden Prairie isn't ready to go home. They fight off 2 match points in the third, and they win it here as Elizabeth Moore sets up Ashley Brueggemann for the kill, 28-26 EP. And the Eagles roll in the fourth. Erickson blocked by Emma Teal. Eden Prairie takes an easy one, 25-14. Hopkins hoping to get the momentum back, and they lead most of the way in the 5th set, but Eden Prairie pulls it out as Abby Erke tips over the block on match point. Eden Prairie pulls out a big comeback in 5. The adapted soccer season is just getting started with some good early games. Park Center in green in a CI division game. It's Park Center scoring first. Nice back pass. It's Aaron Clark banking it. Kevin Hofer with the goal as Park Center builds a 5-2 lead on Mounds View-Irondale-Roseville. Hofer scoring again there to make it 7-3. Clark, good job battling for the ball. Banks it to Hofer for another shot and goal. The Pirates rolling and in control of this one. Paige Farber fighting for the ball in the corner, and she scores. Park Center rolls to an 11-3 win. Good early season win for the Pirates.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
John? Still ahead, how one local school district is leading the state.
We'll be right back in just a moment.
I have a love for teenagers, and so they're close to my heart.
That's why Nancy Cross is helping raise money for the No Hassles Food Shelf for teens. This weekend, the Fantastic Sam's salon on Jolly Lane that she owns in Brooklyn Park is donating $1 from each haircut to a food shelf meant especially for homeless teens in Brooklyn Park and Brooklyn Center. It's a way the shop is marking its 2nd anniversary. Oh, Wayzata High School is on a winning streak, and we're not just talking about sports here.
The high school has a lot of seniors qualified to be semifinalists in the National Merit Scholarship Program. It's a prestigious honor that recognizes the most academically talented students in the United States. Delane Cleveland visited the school to find out the secret to their success.
Homecoming week is a time for fun. It's when students can proudly display their school colors. But for students such as Monica Weimer,
I'm taking the SAT tomorrow.
And Max Anderson,
I like math and science a lot. I've taken AP Bio, AP Chem, and now I'm in AP Physics.
their strong academic records will earn them the privilege of having Wayzata proudly display their names on the walls among the list of other highly performing students from years past.
We are a very high-performing school, very rigorous curriculum.
It's complicated, yes it is.
That rigorous curriculum and high scores on the pre-SAT were enough to propel Monica, Max, and 15 other Wayzata High School students onto the list of National Merit Scholarship semifinalists.
It really is a big deal, and for college, it's nice.
For me, it means going to maybe someplace not like super well or super renowned for its academics, but someplace that will give me a lot of money and still educate me very well.
Year after year, Wayzata churns out dozens of students recognized by the National Merit Program.
For the last 3 or 4 years, we have been the top school in the state. In fact, there was about 3 or 4 years back where if you added the second and third school in the state together, they still didn't reach ours.
It's a pattern of success that leaves students such as Max
They're great for preparing you.
and Monica
It means money for college.
in good shape as they finish out their senior years. In Plymouth, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
And given past years, this is actually a down year for Wayzata in terms of National Merit semifinalists. Last year they had 22, and 2 years ago they had 26. I know a lot of schools feel lucky just to have a couple.
Yeah,
so
that's pretty
love
phenomenal,
it.
isn't it?
Great, yeah.
Right, the rest of us. And speaking of Wayzata, you've got a big game there tonight.
Yeah, the Trojans football team hosting homecoming tonight against Edina. Last year's conference champion. Down a little bit this year, but still should be a good game. Wayzata coming in 3-1 on the season. Will be live on 12 tonight, Friday at 7 o'clock.
Live on 12. All right.
Yes.
Good
Very
matchup.
Thanks a lot, John.
That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Stay with us. Community Corner is coming up next. We hope you have a great weekend. See you back here again on Monday.